Paladino joins us live tonight from his hometown of Buffalo. Carl, thanks very much for joining us.
Good evening, Liz. Thank you.
So you have seen that ad that Andrew Cuomo released today. It accuses you of actually being exactly what you accuse him of being, which is an Albany insider, and says you used your campaign contributions to get benefits in the form of tax breaks from the Empire Development Corporation. What do you say to that?
It's fabrication, obviously. 37 years and probably 37 leases with the state of New York. We were the low bidder each time. We have a reputation with the state as being the best landlord they've ever had. And here's Andrew, whose office approved every one of our leases, as well as the comptroller's office approved every one of our leases. And now he wants to throw that back and say that they were political. John Egan, the Commissioner of the Office of General Services, would never allow politics to enter into any lease. And I've said before, and I'll say it really clearly right now, I have never used contributions to obtain favor on any lease agreement, whether it be state, county, federal, or whatever.
Actually,
Andrew, yes, he's a nasty person, and he wants to say nasty things. And as long as he wants to play the tit-for-tat game, we got a whole box of ammunition here, and we're just going to throw it right back at him.
Okay, but before we get to your bombs and ammunition, some of those leases actually must date back prior to Andrew Cuomo getting into office in '06. So some of them must have been approved also by Eliot Spitzer, no?
They were approved by Spitzer. They were approved by all the prior attorney generals. Every lease with the state of New York has to be approved not only by the executive department, but also by the New York State Attorney General's office and the New York State Comptroller's office.
Okay, so when you say, though, that you have these leases and you've made quite a bit of money and you're spending some of it on your campaign, there's this downstate columnist.
No, I'm not spending any of it on the campaign. First of all, that money is money that goes into the business, and it goes to the partners who are in partnerships with us that own those properties that lease to the state of New York.
I'm sorry.
Secondly, we pay all of the expenses. All right, we pay for the renovations. We pay for all the operating expenses of these offices. We pay for the cleaning, for the maintenance, for the utilities, for the insurance. And in the end, there might be a 1 or 2% profit because we bid very low on each one of those tenants in order to secure them.
Okay, but then where you are self-funding much of your campaign, you've spent more than $3 million on your campaign. So where is that money coming from?
It comes from profits that I've made elsewhere. Yeah.
I see. There is a downstate columnist, Michael Daly. He writes for the Daily News, and he suggested that one way that you could quickly save the taxpayers' money is actually to cut the amount that you're costing the state, that you're charging the state for rent.
Is that right? Well, where's the state going to put these employees? And it's going to cost them a lot more to put them someplace else other than in our space. So that's a sort of a ridiculous question. And tell Mr. Daly we think of him just as we think of any stalking horse that Andrew has sent out. He's obviously playing Andrew's game.
So what is it that you have on Andrew Cuomo? What's in that box of ammunition?
Oh, my God. Strap in, Andrew. Get ready.
You don't want to give us a taste of it? Just tell us one thing that you might be lobbing in his direction.
No, I don't think so, Liz. You're just going to have to wait till it comes out.
You can't blame me for trying, though. You can't blame me for trying.
No, I can't blame you for trying.
What do you say? What do you think, though, about this fact? First of all, the poll numbers are all over the place, and your campaign manager said, actually, that he thinks that the Siena numbers that are out now are suspicious. What does he mean by that?
We've hired probably the best pollster in the country. His name is Fabrizio, and he's a gentleman, and he's been part of our strategy, and he's our major strategist. He figures that right now we're somewhere in the area of 8 to 10 points down, and we're closing real fast. And Mr. Cuomo should just hold on. Don't jump to any conclusions, Andy. Yep.
Do you believe that he's... Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I saw his picture standing next to Bloomberg at the announcement yesterday of Bloomberg's support. And he had that glazed over look and like a deer in the headlights. So I don't want him to get himself sick over this stuff. All right, take it easy, Andy. Take a rest. I know that the people are still waiting for you to get out and tell us who you are and how you stand on Obamacare, how you stand on the reckless spending of the state, how you stand on Medicaid and other social welfare benefits that we're putting out there. People want to know how you stand on these issues, Andrew, and it's time for you to come out and speak. I've asked you for a series of debates. I'm willing to debate you every day for the next 42 days before the election. But if you're just going to sit there and hide and try to send surrogates out, we're just going to keep bloodying them up and sending them back to you.
Well, I'm sorry, what you said he looked he looked glazed over. What does that mean?
He had that look in his eye. It was a glazy look.
How so? What does that mean?
He was staring off into nowhere. There was no smile. There was no expression on his face whatsoever. Obviously, he's very upset over the fact that his ego has been challenged now. His sense of entitlement has been challenged, and it's time to maybe rethink his strategy, because you're not going to just walk into this governorship, Andrew. You're going to have to answer to the people. The people want answers. This is not a Republican-Democrat thing. The Democrats aren't going to line up behind you just because you're you. All right? The press says that, but that's not the way the people think. The people are upset right now. They're upset with the establishment ruling class, and they want something different.
Carl, very quickly, yes. In parting, Mayor Bloomberg said that anger is not a governing strategy. What do you say to that?
No, I totally agree with that. But right now I'm telling you that the people are angry, and I'm their messenger, and I'm conveying it on. I've been there. I've been all over the state of New York, and I've seen people everywhere. They're disturbed. They're upset. They don't feel anything grounded in their government. They don't know what to tell their children. They don't know what to tell their grandchildren. They need to know what the future holds, and they don't get anything out of Andrew.
Okay, unfortunately, we are out of time. I want to thank you very much, however, for joining us, Carl Paladino from Buffalo this evening.
Well, thank you, Liz.